you're actually looking at two teams here with the same problem. If you take the left winger away, there is nothing there.
Aye. I see what you mean. Aye.
No, Tenecte at Celtic, the one bright spark. Gassama at Rangers, the one guy that looked interested in that first half. Rangers obviously upped the performance after the break, but there's so many. I mean, that actually looked to me as if that at half time it was so bad. You wonder if the players kind of took over a little bit in that dressing room, if there was some appeal for somebody to show a bit of pride in what they were doing. Gassama was the only one, and again at Celtic, if they were going to do anything tonight, it was going to have to come from Tenecte, and that means there's 10 other players out there. Where are they? Rangers at least can point to the goalkeeper tonight and say Butland kept him in it again. I don't know how many saves he made, but I'd like to see the stats on it. He must have made about 7 or 8.
Yep.
And 3 or 4 of them were pretty top class. And then conversely for Celtic, you've got Kasper Schmeichel having the worst night of his Celtic career. And, shambolic. Wasn't just the goal, although the goal was a horror story. I don't know what he's doing. Going with his right hand when it's clearly it's left hand all day long. But before that, he'd given the ball away 3 times with simple passes, and he was all over the place tonight. And it was so unlike Kasper Schmeichel. Celtic, can depend on him 9 times out of 10 or 99 times out of 100. Well, tonight was the one night that they couldn't. Mm-hmm. But yeah, you've got two sides there that if the left winger's not going to produce, I'm not sure who does.
Well, look, you mentioned Celtic in there. We will talk in depth about Celtic and their 2-0 home defeat against Braga. A little bit later on, we will also touch on Aberdeen's defeat at home to Shakhtar Donetsk as well. But maybe we should start, Keith, on Rangers, given that's the game that's just finished. We've got comments coming in already on both games. If you want to get involved, please do so. JM simply says in the comments, time is up for Russell Martin. No more excuses. Get it done. Rangers Easy OK says, Martin is a snake oil salesman. We are being run like a local butchers. I cannot believe watching that team. We have spent nearly £30 million on that lot. We can't defend. We can't attack. Disgraceful. And you do forget, Keith, I was watching it and I was thinking, I think it was Ali McCoist in commentary said something about if they've not got the players to play that way. They signed 14 players in the summer. I mean, how many more players do you want?
Well, I took a few notes down at half time, Daniel. It was pretty simple. It was just no fight, no desire, no belief, no faith in what they're being asked to do, no clue how to make it work. Rangers under Russell Martin are a nothing team. They do nothing and they will win nothing. No wonder the fans have had enough. There is no point to their team anymore. They are painful to watch and becoming irrelevant. And I think that sums up what they were in that first half.
Don't think anyone can disagree with any of that.
No, apart from Gassama, as I said, Gassama and Butland, obviously, because he kept them in. They did look more lively, as if there was a more energy about them in the second half. But you're 2-0 down. You're staring another defeat in the face. I just, at least in the second half of that Rangers performance, Daniel, they were trying to play the ball forward. Mm-hmm. But you're watching that the first half, and it's back the way consistently all the time. No purpose to what they're trying to do. They're, as I said, it's all possession, no purpose with Rangers until they get into a situation like that tonight. Where 2-0 down at half time, and you need to try and throw the kitchen sink at it. I know one of the comments there was time's up for Russell Martin. Time's been up for Russell Martin for weeks, and it ain't happened. Rangers are going to stick with this. I do not know why. And I just keep coming back to what I've said and what I say almost every night we're on this show. It was always going to get worse before it was going to get better. But you're just looking at it going, I mean, at what point does somebody make a decision here and say, look, this guy needs taken out his misery, put out his agony. It's like a mercy killing. And yet then they make an appointment like they did, or they're about to announce with Thelwell Jr. coming in. And you think these guys are actually doubling down. As I said last night, it feels like they're gaslighting their own supporters. I've got immense sympathy for these Rangers fans right now because, there was a while when Rangers became almost like Celtic supporters are just now, that entitled way. When when they were winning a lot of stuff, and there was a banner and a slogan that they deserve better, and at that point they were almost winning every trophy that there was in sight, and I kind of got the point, and you kind of get the point with Celtic just now. But it is that element of entitlement. But here's the bottom line on this: these Rangers fans, after everything they've been through over this last decade or so, 100% they do deserve better. And they're actually they're being taken not just for granted, they're being taken for fools right now, and they're going to rebel against that. Of course they will. So I don't know where it goes from here for Rangers. They're sitting here with 0 points at 6. From 2 Europa League games, which they should be winning, which last season they probably won. Even though Rangers have been average for so long, you would expect them to take 6 from 6 from these 2 games. I said last night that Graz weren't a good side, Dan. And I said to you that I think defensively they're flaky, and Rangers, even though they've been powder puff in attack, would have a reasonable chance of getting out there, but at least getting a point on the board. Well, nowhere near it, really. I mean, bar I kind of thrown everything at it in the second half. The fact that they're allowed themselves to get into that position, they probably didn't deserve any more than they took away from the game.
On the game itself, and we've got plenty of comments coming in. As I say, if you want to get involved, please do so. Boyd says, I'm finito until he is removed. Marzuno rather comically says, I'm sure Martin will give a great interview and get the fans back on side. Scott points out Graz, as you say, Keith, were a poor side. And see, just on that, I mean, look, Sturm Graz, anyone away from home in Europe this day and age is going to be tough. But what was the defending all about for those 2 goals? That was just wild.
No, do you know what that smacks of, Daniel? And this is what I was saying about my summation of that first half. The players are out there physically, in body, they're present, they're on the pitch, but they're doing nothing more than going through the motions.
Aye.
And I don't know if that is because the way they're being set up, if there's a lack of motivation coming from a manager who has been walking on the Green Mile for weeks now. There's just a lethargy about them, a lack of intensity. They're, as I said, they're a nothing team. I think that, probably some Rangers fans would have enjoyed the second half a little bit more because there was something. There was a little bit of life. There was a little bit of effort. But again, that's too late. You're 2-0 down. You're not going to go away from home from Europe and, give a team a 2-0 start on the home pitch and expect to either score 2 or 3 goals in that second half. And even then, even though, and the door's wide open at the back, if there was any quality in that Graz side, by the way, they would have scored another couple in the second half.
Do you know as well, Keith, who could have really done with a couple of goals tonight in particular was Chermiti. After the Thelwell Junior stuff yesterday, and he's getting brought into the argument as well, coming from Everton for that big money.
Yes.
But again, I mean, he hit the bar in the first half, fair enough. But
he should score.
He just looks so anonymous to me.
Yeah, there's again another player. I looked at, there was one run that he made to shut somebody down, and he got there half a second late, and he could turn around and say, well, I made the effort there. But you're looking at it going, that's not enough. Mm-hmm. And what did I say about Adam Ida at Celtic? You're looking at him going, you're not giving everything you can.
Yep.
Now, I'm not going to come down like a ton of bricks on Chermiti because he's obviously not had a lot of football. I'm not just mean at Rangers. I mean, previously he's gone 2 or 3 years without certainly scoring a goal and for long parts without kicking a ball. So maybe there is more, but I've yet to see it. I'm being harsh on him with the header. The header wasn't bad. He's done quite well to get up to it. But if you're going to spend, if any Scottish team is going to be spending £8 to £10 million on a centre forward right now, these are the chances, these are the matches that he has to make his mark. It has to be a difference maker. And he made no difference tonight, Chermiti.